Hi, this is Mindy Foltz here. I'm creating a quick tutorial for those of you that were interested in knowing how to make the solar system. So I'm in CoSpaces and I have the Pro version, which my school kindly bought for our students. And we have a free 14-day trial of the Merge Cube. So we don't have the full subscription to that yet, but hopefully we can get it. So what I'm doing is in CoSpaces, I just go to Create Space. And I'm going to create a merge cube space. And when you do that, you end up with this merge cube in the center of your environment, and you can click and look around. So I just clicked on my environment and drag my mouse around. And I'm zooming out using my mouse. So what I want to do first is I want to turn the merge cube into the sun. So I'm just going to put a sun over the top of that. So down in the left corner, if you click on Library, you have some options that you can look at. I don't think that they have a sun in here, so I'm going to search, actually go to Upload, and I'm going to upload 3D models and do a web search for sun. I recently searched for Saturn, so first I'm going to do sun though. And Gary Colson is my student that made the solar system that you probably saw on Twitter, and he used the sun right here, so I'm going to go ahead and put that sun in. And when you upload things, sometimes they turn up in weird sizes, but you can always resize things. So I can make this bigger by just clicking this and dragging. And Gary's goal was to cover the whole cube so that you didn't actually see it in the video. And then I'm going to move it up, and that cube is automatically centered at 0, 0, 0 for XYZ. So when I double click on this, I can transform, and I'm going to put my position for my X at 0 and my position for my Y at 0. And the Z position, 2.75, is looking okay right now. And you can see that it just moved there. So I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. I can still see the bottom a little bit, so maybe I'll move it down to 2.5. Okay, so now I have a sun covering the cube. If I want to make that just a little bit bigger to cover the whole cube, there we go. Okay, so that's the first thing. We've got our sun in. Now we need to make a path for our planets to move around our orbit. So when I go to Library, I'm going back to, oops, I'm going to just hit the back button. And under Special, where the camera is, you can choose a path for things to move around. So I'm going to choose a round path, and I'm just dragging it into my environment and dropping it here. And then I'll obviously need to resize that. So here's my round path. I'm going to zoom in so I can click on it. Now these dots can just be placed anywhere. This isn't going to be perfect. I'm just going to try to get them to go around the sun. And right now, this path is kind of on the ground. Move that one out. Okay, so that's not perfectly circular, but if you're going to do this, you can mess around and get those in a good spot. Okay, so let's move this up. I'm going to move the whole path up, and the Z position of the sun was 2.5, so I'm going to make the Z position of the path the same. So now you can see my path is up off the ground. And if you want your path to be thicker, you can mess around with that. Here, I think, the width of the path, you can make it thicker or thinner. And I think you can change the color of the paths. If you want it to be purple, you can make it purple. Okay, so whatever you'd like to do as far as that goes is fine. Okay, so now we need to get Earth to actually move on this path. So I'm going to import an Earth, upload. Instead of sun, I'm going to search Earth. And here we go. I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to drag it into place. And, oh, it's huge. Okay, so I need to resize that. And let's, still too huge, make it smaller. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. A little smaller. All right, so I have the Earth here. Now, it's important to know that if you're going to code anything in CoSpaces, you need to make sure that you turn on the object to be coded. So I'm going to double click on the Earth, and where it says code here, I have to make sure I toggle this where it says use in CoBlocks so that I can actually code it. And I have to do the same thing for the path. And so when I double click on it, first of all, it's called round path. If I'm going to put several paths in here, I don't want them all to be called round path. So I'm going to call this Earth path. And I'm going to turn it on to be used in CoBlocks. All right, so let me just show you the basic coding here. I realize my orbit is not perfectly round, but I'm not too concerned with that. When I click on code in the top right corner, I choose to code in CoBlocks. And under transform, so let me make this bigger so you can see, under transform, there's something that says move item on path. So I'm going to move the Earth on the Earth path. And if I hit play right now, I can see what that looks like. And so this is made to be seen in a merge cube, but I'm on my computer, so I can't view it in the merge cube right now. So if you paid attention to what just happened there, my Earth went around the path one time and then it stopped. I want it to keep going around, and so I'm going to put that in a loop. And under control, you'll find a forever loop. And so that my Earth, if I put this move item on path into the forever, it will keep going around and around. Okay, so now we want another item. Let's just add one more planet. I'm going to go back. Okay, so my Earth is working the way I want it to. I'm going to close this, and now I'm going to go ahead and add another path. Let's do Saturn. So go to Library, Special, Round Path again. So I'm going to do essentially the same thing that I did before. Get rid of that. And I'm going to click all these dots to get them to go around the Earth path. Whoop, way over there. Okay, so again, my orbit isn't super smooth, but it's good enough for me for now. You get the hang of it. Okay, so again, my orbit is on the ground. I want to move it up. So when I double click on it, transform the Z value 2.5, and the whole orbit moved up. Now I need to get Saturn on there. And I'm going to choose this one. This is the same one that Gary chose, I think, when he made his project. And get rid of that. And let's move it up a little. I want to move it up until it's intersecting with that path. And so I think that's pretty good. I want to adjust the size I can. Again, I need to make sure that if I want to be able to code this, that I turn on Saturn. So code using CoBlocks, and I need to turn on the path. Let's see. And I want to rename it again so I don't get confused with my paths. And turn it on to use in CoBlocks. Okay, so I think I'm ready to program that one. If I go to code, I can go ahead and say, let's move, and right now it says Earth, but you can toggle down and say move Saturn on Saturn path. And same as before, I don't want it to just go around once, I want it to keep going around. You can change the amount of time it takes for each planet to go around the sun. I'm going to keep them at 5 for now. But if I hit play right now, we'll see an issue here because Earth is going, but Saturn is not. And that's because the code will play in this order, but since this takes forever to do, it will never actually do this. So I need to run those two things at the same time. I use a run parallel, which is another orange block, and I put each of them in the run parallel. Now if I hit play, I can see them both go. Okay, so this is just a quick tutorial to get you started, and you can finish from there. All kinds of possibilities and changes you can make. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. Thanks so much.